What is going on, fellow Wastelanders? Welcome back to the channel. Shock Radio here, and today we are going to take a look at the market implications that the planned balance changes has had. Now, generally speaking, when you release big patch notes like the ones that were released over the weekend in a player-controlled market, things tend to get pretty spicy. So today we're just going to look at all the things that they're changing in the patch notes, directly looking at what is going on the PlayStation market. Now, I will say I was going to do this on the PC, but I cannot see what the trade trends. I cannot see this graph on my PC partner account. So it's very hard for me to look at rising and falling prices on PC. And another thing, PlayStation Xbox market is very reactive to these changes. There's no market corridors. There's no wait time to buy or wait time to sell on console market. So we can see the effect of these changes on the market almost immediately as soon as the patch notes are released. So without further ado, we're going to look at items in the patch notes and see if they've risen or fallen, and that can tell us if people think that these are good changes or bad changes. So let's get right into it. Now, the first item on the list is the young Wang. Now, overall, a lot of people do say this is quite an extraordinary nerf on the young Wang, not being able to flip them upside down anymore. Now, you can see the price on PlayStation. It hit an all-time high, about 900, almost 1,000 coin there, about a week ago or so. It was pretty close to 900 coin, and then a couple days ago, it started falling here. It looks actually like the update was probably released right here, or maybe here. And then the price started falling. So players do overall think that the young Wang is getting a nerf. Now, next up is the Fortune. Now, this one's getting a basically an accuracy buff, but it's going to get an inertia debuff, right? You can't use your vehicle's speed now to get extra launch distance or to change the trajectory of things like young Wang Fortunes and Porcupines. Now, I thought it was a buff. I honestly thought the Fortune's getting a buff. You can sling these things with accuracy, but when you're looking at what is going on in the market absolutely disagrees with me. Maybe they're onto something. So this inertia debuff is exactly that. According to the market, players are not looking forward to this inertia change. All right, now next up, also the inertia change. Now have been quite a few nerfs on the Porcupine as well. The inertia change, I think, is kind of a buff for Porcupines. In my own opinion, again, I could be completely wrong about this. However, there are also accompanying nerfs with damage and reload speed. Porcupine is taking a bit of a hit. It looks like it was peaking 38, 39 2 weeks ago. Not too much of a hit, but if it keeps going down to 33k, that's pretty low on PlayStation for a Porcupine. Lowest it was 2 weeks ago was 38, and then looks like now it is starting to sink. Players do not like the damage and reload nerf to the Porcupines. Seeing some balancing done to the Tempest. Now, one thing I forgot to really mention when I was testing the Tempest, the increased fire rate does equate to faster shooting, obviously more damage, but also your weapon is going to overheat a little bit faster. So you got to be aware of that. You might need some more radiators, coolers. It does look like players are excited about it though, as the price did spike all the way up to 364. I believe this is only craftable for certain players. So this is like a half craftable, half not craftable item. But it's stabling out a little bit, but the price is up on the Tempest. So players are happy about the Tempest changes. All right, now Prosecutor, I'm not expecting a whole lot of movement on parts that are craftable by every player in the game, basically, because those parts should stay fairly stable, but we can see a little bit of a price increase right here, almost up to 300 coin. Insane. I don't know if players didn't realize they could craft those items or not, but there is a price spike on the Prosecutor, and I'm sure there'll be one for the Executioner as well. All right, up next, the Carapace Cabin is getting a buff to its reload speed and active time. Now, it doesn't seem to really be doing a whole lot to this cabin. This is a pack-only cabin that's always pretty valuable. Now, you see my last purchase price was $155. Again, if you're getting these pack-only items on the market, just wait for these packs to go on sale, and then the price naturally goes lower on the market. Doesn't seem like people are really too interested in this cabin as a result of the patch notes, but we'll see after the patch notes go live if this cabin goes up or down in price anymore. And the Clarinet Toe receiving quite a bit of love, and you can definitely tell right there that players were all about it. Basically as soon as the patch notes drop, just a massive spike. Now again, I don't know what makes players spend upwards of 1,200 coin on a craftable purple item, but people were so excited about the patch notes that they just absolutely splurged. The price did level off a little bit, but it is still elevated in comparison to the 600 high price. 659 was the high price about a week ago. I mean, now we're seeing it at 700, 800, all the way up to 1,200 coin. Obviously, that's crazy. You might be able to get it as low as 575. So, some very wide margins, potential to buy low, sell high, definitely in these patch notes. So if you have some spare coin, you might be able to flip some things. Now, the elephant cannon is the star of this update, one of the very many stars of this update. And you can just absolutely see the price go to the moon once the patch notes were announced. I tried to get one of these cannons for 1,500 coin. I should have actually, no, I tried to get it for 1,100 coin. The quick buy was 1,500. Those three of them on PlayStation. I should have absolutely bought all of them, but I didn't really have the coin to do it. And these are gambles. You don't know. I mean, right now, to this moment, it is still a bit of a gamble. There is another weekend of test server. They're updating the patch notes, so we don't know if these changes are going to stick, if they're going to alter things, or what they're going to alter. So it is a bit of a gamble, but if you can get ahead of these patch notes, by the way, if you want to join my Discord, you can get the CROSSOUT news straight to our Discord as soon as the devs announce it. That is how I get my information so fast and put out my videos very quick. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I check my CROSSOUT news section in the Discord, and bam. So if you check the news section in my Discord, it's basically early in the morning. Look for these buffs, and you can potentially buy these items for cheap mainly before the American players are waking up or getting off of work, and take advantage of the deals on the market before the market goes crazy like this. So just a helpful tip when you're buying low, selling high in the market. Keep an eye out for these patch notes, because these patch notes have major implications like this on the market. All right, the Thresher I'm actually really excited about. It's getting a overall damage buff and increase in the perk. Now, it doesn't look like anything's really happening. It's just a stable part. I think this is one of those... Is it craftable for everyone? I know I can craft the Thresher. I'm not sure if everyone can craft it. But anyway, it looks pretty stable, so people aren't really buying into the Thresher or quick selling them. They're just sitting on them. All right, Executioner again, another craftable item. I won't expect these craftable items to really jump much in price, but there was a little bit of a increase there. It looks like they were dropping all the way down to 269, 416, 399 was the low there. Now it's all the way up to 500, between 4 and 500 coin, almost 600 coin there. So the Executioner players are definitely appreciating the Executioner buff. Now this AC Jewel, one of my favorite autocannons in the game, basically has been this price since I can remember. I don't think it's never really came down below the 1,000 mark from what I can remember on PlayStation, but it's never really been that high. Now, looks like it was about 1,000 coin, 1,200 2 weeks ago. The buff maybe made some things happen. There is pretty massive price discrepancy here between 1,200 and 1,600 coin right now they're going for. So again, opportunity to buy low, sell high with these items in the patch notes. I'm excited for the AC Jewels. Again, I don't really buy into these pack-only items that really aren't good for clan battles, if I'm being completely honest, or extremely meta for like PvP. If I'm going to spend, 1,200, 1,600 coin on a purple item, I really want to be able to earn uranium with it, or be able to compete with these weapons. And AC Jewels, I don't think is quite there yet. So, all right. So the Flute receiving a lot of love, basically a complete perk change. No longer do you have to shoot the damn things way in the air to charge up the damage, or whatever the old perk used to be from getting from flight time or whatever. Now you just shoot the opponent directly, you get a damage buff, and players definitely like this. It is a pack-only item, so again, with these pack-only items that get changed in these patch notes, those are the ones that you can really see that have a massive price discrepancy, because people can't craft them, so you just have to go to the market. You have to pay the price if you want them. Looks like they jumped all the way up from, what was it, 157, 208 per Flute, all the way up to 282 to 799 per Flute. That's absolutely insane. They did level back down, so people understanding that these Flutes are still going to be a little difficult to use. You need a lot of them, which sucks. I would not want buy freaking, what, 6 flutes at 600 coin or whatever it was, 800 coin, no thank you. And there's very hard counters to flute, sparks, flashes. Argus is a counter to flute, so you know, it still has its challenges. Will we see it enter higher realms of pricing? I don't think so. I think it's pretty stable right here, but we will see what the devs do this coming Friday. All right, the almighty god of thunder, Raijin. Oh yeah, so it's plummeting in price, but by the looks of it, players don't think it is going to be as bad as meets the eye. It's still a pretty high valuable purple item, which tells me that it's still going to be pretty good. It's just going to be a little bit more challenging to use. I mean, this thing was, what, 3,200 coin on PlayStation, 3,300, 2,300, all the way down now to 1795 and 2,100. So a pretty massive price drop, but nothing incredibly massive that's going to tell me that this weapon is going to be completely trash with the coming patches. All right, and it is everyone's favorite weapon, the Tachi, which was kind of debatable. Is it getting nerfed? Is it getting buffed? Well, the market sees all, and the market says that this is getting a little bit of a buff. It looks like a week ago it was all the way at 118 coin. The patch notes released, and people are like, whoa, damage buff, let's go, all the way up to 450 coin. Then reality set in a little bit, and people are like, wait a minute, wait, let's see what they do. And then it dropped down to 199, 145, but still a pretty massive price spike for the Tachi. Again, another situation on PlayStation where if you can buy low, sell high, it could be some pretty good flips with the Tachi. The Jotun. The Jotun is a bit of a double-edged sword here when we're looking at the nerf, because it is in the current mini season, and pretty much anything that releases in a mini season, the price will go down when players unlock them. So the Jotun has been dropping in price. Simply, I remember selling my Jotun, I think for 29 or 1900 coin. I can't remember which one it was. A couple weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, I think I was one of those people that sold them for very high. When the price has been falling, well, the nerf didn't really seem to do that much until right about here. It did actually fall pretty good bit, actually. That's about 30% price drop from where it was. I mean, it was 1200, 800 coin. Now players are not liking the debuff of the slowdown effect, down to 650, 808 for the Jotun. So could be a good time to get yourself a Jotun. Now this is quite interesting because this is a case that kind of proves my theory sort of wrong in some cases. This is a craftable item. It is being nerfed quite a bit. Damage reduced, perk damage bonus reduced. And I've always said this is a good entry-level clan battle weapon, good confrontation weapon, a competitive epic weapon. It's being nerfed, and you can definitely tell it's being nerfed. Dropped all the way a week ago. It was at 669 coin for the high price. Well, now it's all the way down to 431 is the low, 549 is the high. So it could be a good time to get yourself some Spectres. Could be a good time to get yourself some Spectres if you think they are any good in this coming update. But I will say that Spectres were always good on a hover build. So it's a bit of a double nerf in a lot of people's eyes, because a lot of players are saying hovers are going downhill. So hovers going down and then the Spectres being nerfed. That could definitely correlate to decrease in prices. Oh, hell yeah, brother. The Manitou. The Manitui. The Manitou. However you would like to pronounce this beautiful word, beautiful cabin. It is getting buffed. The perk is changing and players are receiving it well. It looks like it was all the way down to 351 about a week ago, 500 coin. I picked up mine for 301 coin. I actually have a fused Manitui, so I'm pretty happy about this one. I really like the Manitui cabin. I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but it's dropped. It went from, well, it was 351. Looks like the high was 1,000 coin. Once the patch notes dropped, I really do like it. It's a very simple change to this cabin that just makes a big difference. So players seem to be receiving this buff pretty good, but not quite as well as the next item that we have on the list. Oh my god. So the Echo cabin, probably the most underestimated item on in the patch notes. I was like, Echo cabin just getting a little buff, no big deal. This thing's awesome. I'm actually going to put a bid in because that's insane right now. While I'm doing this video, you can see a week ago it was only 600 coin. Wow. 600 coin, 800, 585, and then boom, the patch notes came out, and then all the way up to 1,000 coin instantly. Now you can see people are asking for 2,400 coin, 23.98 right there. You can get it as low as 752. So again, the prices are very volatile this week. We're kind of in limbo. We're waiting to see what the devs are going to do on Friday's patch notes for the test server. So we'll see what happens to the price this coming weekend with the Echo Cabin. All right, Goliath Tracks getting a buff. Basically, all tracks getting a traction buff, but Goliath Tracks getting extra love. Their bonus to durability of attached parts is increasing from 10 to 25%. So with that being said, it looks like about a week ago, we seen the prices as low as 600 coin, 650. They went all the way down to 450 for Goliath Tracks. Well, now your lowest price you're going to be paying on PlayStation, you might be able to get it for 588 if someone sells the bids for 740, but 740 is the lowest you can try to buy Goliath Tracks for, but 900 is the current sell orders for Goliath Tracks, so doubled in price due to the current patch notes. So we're gonna see what players have in mind for future builds for Goliath Tracks. I have a feeling they're gonna be on leg builds or something, but we'll see. Boy, my arch nemesis in the game, the Gad Legs. I didn't craft enough of them when the battle pass came around. I didn't fuse enough of them, and then I regretted it because they're one of the most OP. They are in and out of being one of the most OP parts in the game. I'm not really a spider guy, but it looks like when the buff first came out, they're getting a durability increase, a tonnage increase, and a slight traction increase. People were all about it. Skyrocketed from 1,700 coin all the way up to 2,300 coin. Players have fallen back down to reality. I don't know what's going on, but the price has actually fallen back down to what it was, actually even lower than what it was before the patch notes. So this is quite interesting. I don't know if players just think that the dogs are still going to be way more meta than Gad Legs, and that's causing players to be hesitant on putting out that much coin for these legs. It is a lot of coin to put out on a purple movement part, considering you need like 12 legs and you want them fused. So I can see why players are hesitant on shelling out that much coin, but a bit surprised that the price jumped and then immediately fell back down. That is interesting. Meat Grinder. One of the most unloved movement parts in the game. I've always had high hopes for Meat Grinders. Honestly, I have always wanted to use Meat Grinders since it is a fire starter part or a Lunatic's part. I think it's fire starter's part actually. I've always wanted to use Meat Grinders on fire dog builds. I know you guys are going to give me so much crap in the comments, but it seemed like that would be the choice for a fire build. It's by the fire starter faction. It's basically the equivalent of shiv wheels, but the epic rarity. So I've always wanted them to be really fast, so I could use them with fire builds. But that's here nor there. It looks like the buffs that people are getting, they've said that it's not enough. They think that Meat Grinders need more of a durability buff. It's getting a massive resistance increase for fire and frost, which is really cool. And it looks like players are receiving it well, but it's unsure. The price is spiking, it's dropping, it's spiking, it's dropping. Players can't really make up their mind if they think the buff is good enough or not. But ultimately, what I'm hearing is players don't think it's good enough. The market tells us that players are indecisive about it. All right. On to the most controversial item in the patch notes, the Icarus 7s and the Icarus 4s. These are the craftable hovers. So again, if an item's craftable, I don't really expect the price to be super volatile or change very rapidly. There could be outliers here. But it does look like the price of the Icarus are steadily declining. It's not really a rapid decline. We're not seeing just a plummet, but it is a steady decline on the downward slope as people are thinking about it, myself included. I'm like in the air. I know I pitched it in my video like it's not that bad of a nerf. That is kind of what I think, but I'm also like on the fence. I'm with you guys. Like, do they need that tonnage nerf? They're kind of sluggish. Like, I like the fact that hovers are going to be more stable. You're not going to be flipping all over the place. I like the fact that when dogs aren't going to be able to get right underneath your build as easily anymore, so you're always going to be able to shoot at them. But I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen with this weekend. I have a feeling the devs are going to change something with hovers because the community is really outraged about it, but it doesn't show on the price of Icarus 7s. Let's see if the Icarus 4s have a different story to tell. So it looks like the Icarus 4s, a bit of a case where players are all over the place. It's going through some pretty big spikes, not like massive spikes like some of the other ones, but it was up there about 800 coin 2 weeks ago, 900, 700 coin. still honestly pretty stable. Like, I think if the nerf was going to be that bad, we probably would see them in the 400 price range. To be quite honest with you, I don't know. This tells me that players are still unsure. The real true hover players are still little unsure if the nerf is going to be that bad or not, or that good. The price is kind of stable, kind of low. It's very hard to get a reading off of looking at Icarus 4s on the market, but I can tell you basically everything I'm hearing is that this surprised me because people hate dogs, they hate hovers. Players are really not happy about these Icarus hover nerfs. They're really not happy, and that actually surprised me. I thought that people would be really happy hovers are being nerfed, really happy dogs are being nerfed. But that was not quite the case this recent patch note, so very interesting. All right, Byr Legs are getting hit pretty hard with a nerf. They're getting a speed reduction in leg mode, and as well as a traction reduction. So you can definitely tell that players are like, whoa, 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 and just started selling off their Byr Legs. It looked like it peaked about a week ago at 820, and then patch notes came out. Yeah, there it goes, 500 all the way down, cut in half to 460 there. Almost cut literally in half from 820 down to 460. So it's stabilizing a little bit. It's going back up between 5 and 800 coin. Currently sitting between 585 and 700 coin. So another item that is pretty volatile. You might be able to make some good flips on. The old Athena, the Athena energy weapon. I really like this weapon. I've never actually, I think I've owned it very briefly. Have I owned it? I don't think I've actually owned this item. I think I've built an Athena build for a friend of mine, but I didn't actually own the Athenas. So anyway, I think this item is really cool. I tend to steer clear of expensive pack items. This is an expensive legendary pack item. You can kind of see it's been up there. Now, this is getting a buff, and the market seems to not care about it. From what I'm seeing, no, they don't care about it. They're like, okay, cool, getting a spread reduction, cool. So if you want Athenas and you think the buff's going to be good, it could be a pretty good time to get them because they're not, like, insanely high. I've seen them very, very high in the past. But they're also not too cheap either, so tread lightly, but it looks like you can actually still get the Athenas for pretty cheap on the market, even though they are getting a little bit of a spread reduction. The old Scotty, the worst weapon that came out with the Hyperborea faction, but personally one of my favorites. I mean, you get a fire extinguisher. What better than building a fire truck for your daughter to play with in CROSSOUT? My daughter loves running fire truck builds, and the Scotty is the perfect weapon to put on a post-apocalyptic fire truck. Anyway, it's getting some good love. Damage increased by 12%. It is massive. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge for it. It's actually pretty cool. I don't know. Maybe it's not that huge. I'm exaggerating a little bit. It's really good. It looks like players got extremely excited day one. Wow, someone bought one for 7,000 coin. Holy crap, I wish that someone was me. I have one extra one to sell that I'm waiting. I'm patiently waiting. I hope it peaks to like 6,000 or something, but I don't think it'll go that high. Players were very, very excited when the patch first came out. They're like, oh my god, I'm going to buy this for 7,000 coin. Then reality set in that it might not be that OP. So it did settle at between 2,700 and 4,000 coin is what it is right now. But 4,000 coin, that is pretty significant for this weapon. I mean, it was down to 2,700 coin for a while there. All the way down to, this is the low right here too, it looks like. Well, what's this low? All the way down to 2,100. So, I mean, you're talking a massive discrepancy in price. Again, another one of those weapons that if you can get this on the low for 2,700 on PlayStation, potentially sell it for 3,900. Massive profits to be had on flipping items right now in this limbo period. And this is why, honestly, I know that PC is cheaper. This is one of the reasons I absolutely love the PlayStation market. If you have the patience, the time, the coinage to mess around with it, you can absolutely make some coin just by buying and selling items. Pretty awesome. So while you're grinding scrap and wires, you got your 20 buy, 20 sell bids, and you're making bank. So just one thing that got me into CROSSOUT was the market. I feel for my PC friends that don't have quite as open of a market as console. Hopefully they won't fix it. What am I talking about? Harvester actually getting a massive buff. Not only is it getting a buff in the perk, but the fact that hovers are going to be dropped to the ground. Yeah, it's going to be a harvester's wet dream out there, to be quite honest with you guys. A week ago, it was at 2,900 coin, 3,200 coin, 3,300 coin. Well, to this day, it is going for 3,790 8. So pretty wild jump. It looks like you can still get it for the 2000s if you're lucky, if the price drops, but players are responding positively to the Harvester buff, and they are starting to buy them up. In this one, I got pretty lucky. I made a bad prediction. You guys might know me for my predictions. Sometimes really good, sometimes really bad. This was one of those really bad predictions. I thought this one might be in the Echoes of War mini event pass. I knew something from the syndicates was probably going to be in there, but I didn't know what. It turns out it was actually Hyperborea focus completely, with the Kami being upgradable. That's neither here nor there. The Kaiju is getting buffed, and I had one purchased because I thought there might be a time when it would go up in price. It did go up in price. I got lucky. Thank God I sold mine today. I made a little bit of coin off of it. So the Kaiju is getting a little bit of a buff. It's basically going to take after the Raijin. Raijin no longer going to slow down your whole damn build when you're charging up the shot. So it went all the way, it looks like a week ago, it was 1,800 coin. My gosh. It spiked all the way up to 4,400 coin once news of the buff first came out. Again, guys, the best way to make coin in CROSSOUT is to buy cheap things that suck in the game and then pray to God the devs buff them one day and you're the lucky owner of those items. So Cyclone. You had all but like a couple months to shine. You've been out for years and years and years, and you've always been just too low durability, too big of a hitbox. Finally, you're reigning supreme in confrontation, might even be usable in clan battles. The whole community just wants you nerfed into the ground, and you got nerfed. Rest in peace, Cyclones. Actually, it's not that bad. The market looks like it's responding to the nerf. I mean, that was bad. That was bad. It looks like someone sold their Cyclone for 3,300 coin. That's crazy. A week ago, they were going between 4,000 and 5,000 coin. Again, this is a craftable item for many players, so we can't expect too much of a volatile market for this item, but you can see that players are not so happy about the nerf, and the price is dropping a little bit, but honestly, it looks pretty stable. If these two 4K items sell, it drops down to 3,600. That could be a different story, but for right now, the price of the Cyclone is fairly stable. Alright, the Draco nerf that everyone has been asking for, they finally get it, but the community seems to think that it just isn't enough. I think they just want Dracos wiped off the face of the earth, or any kind of Firebug flamethrower build wiped off the face of the earth. I don't understand. But anyway, 4,100 coin, 3,900 coin is what they were a week ago. 4,300 coin, pretty expensive for a legendary item on PlayStation. Well, as soon as the news dropped of the nerf, players took that to heart, and it plummeted all the way down. It looks like one sold for 3,100 coin. What's a 20% decrease, 25% reduction in price on the market? So it looks like many players that had the Dracos not fused are thinking it might be time to retire their flamethrowers. So this market tells me that this nerf is going to be enough for Dracos by the price dropping like this, but the players are telling me they want more. This cabin, the Yokozuna cabin, took the world by storm. Once was one of the least used cabins in the game, often forgotten about by many players. Rose to be one of the best cabins in the game very quickly with the brick meta. Look at that, though. The Yokozuna is getting nerfed. The Dracos are getting nerfed. Kind of a double whammy nerf here. And they're paying the price. The Yokozuna is paying the price. Price cut in half. Pretty much cut in half. Almost cut in half. 37.98 was the price 1 week ago. Well, today we're looking at 2,100 coins right now, or 3K coins. Again, a massive difference in buy orders and sell orders. So if you have the ability to buy these on the cheap, sell them for the high, it could be an opportunity to make some coin by flipping these items. The Apollo, which has gotten a lot of love recently. It is one of the better generators now that it is a heavy generator and gives you more energy than the Thor, has more durability, all that good stuff. However, one of the biggest pet peeves I guess people had with not the most recent balance changes, maybe most recent balance changes, they made the Apollo really explosive, really boom. Players didn't like that. Well, they're increasing the durability, and I gotta say the players are responding meh. They're just like, it's an Apollo, who cares? Everyone probably wants the Odin and the Thor still. They don't want a nuke on their build, but the durability increase on the Apollo, players honestly are not seemingly bothered by it. All right, guys, now the last item we have on our list is the Scorpion, which is very, very odd to see. The Scorpion is getting a pretty big buff. However, the market is not taking it that way. Now, what I think is happening here is the hover nerf is at play here, because you can pretty much only run Scorpions on hovers. I don't care what the devs did with rotation speed. The hitbox and durability of Scorpions is too small to put them on wheel builds. So they only work on hovers. With most of the players considering the changes to hovers being a nerf, it makes sense that players are saying Scorpions will not be viable anymore if the devs go through with the upcoming balance changes. So it looks like the price of the Scorpions started to plummet all the way. It looks like there were 32,000 coin all the way to 26,000 coin. That is massive. Again, guys, this is how you play the market right here, is trading to the crossout seasons, buying low, selling high. It's so cliche in the game of crossout, but it works incredibly well if you get items before these patch notes drops, ideally. But if you can wake up early when you know patch notes are coming and pick up items cheap, you can potentially flip them for a lot later. So anyway, that's what I got for you guys today, looking at all the different items and how the market is responding. I will be live on the test server Friday morning. I did a survey on YouTube asking what you guys thought about a member-only live stream. To be honest with you, when I'm doing these test servers, I stream live on Twitch and YouTube, and the chat goes pretty crazy. I have my bot, I have all the people asking me to test things. I often miss a lot of what you guys are requesting or telling me in chat. So one of my ideas was I'll just make it a members-only live stream at first, subscriber-only on Twitch, to give kind of exclusive access for those that are really supporting the channel, and make sure that I do not miss your messages, because I do not want to miss any messages from our members and our subscribers on Twitch when you guys want me to test things. You guys make this channel go around, and I want to treat you guys well. So what I've decided to do for Friday's live stream, what I'm going to do for the first like 2 or 3 hours of the live stream, I will do a members-only chat, okay, a subscribers-only chat. Everyone will be able to access my live stream this coming Friday of the test server. However, for the first like 2 or 3 hours, it'll just be a member-only chat. That way members, Twitch subscribers, they will be able to just get their messages clearly across for me to test the builds that they want to test. If the chat really isn't active and people aren't like messaging a lot and it's kind of dead, then I'll absolutely open it up. But I just want to say thank you to our channel members, the best way that I know how, and that is just by giving you guys some exclusive member-only content. So yeah, look forward for my live stream Friday. 9 a.m. Eastern Time is when we plan on going live Friday on the test server. Thank you guys for watching my video. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one.